So this experience reminded them that, hey, I've been focusing too much on thinking, the intellectual part of it. I've forgotten about my heart. So it's connecting about that, and they find it liberating. I need to take care of both. Some did it 5 days, some did it 10 days. They come to realization that actually change is not that hard. Preparing ourselves, preparing our employees to have that flexibility to embrace what is coming our way. AI is one of it. It is going to complement the cognitive learning portion. It's just like how the alternative medicine is complementing Western medicine.
All right, let's continue on this very interesting topic, especially on something very hard. Okay, if I may bring us back to last year, I understand that Bank Negara Malaysia launched this Future Skills Framework, and MCIS is one of the early adopters. Would you like to maybe share with us a little bit more about this initiative and the participation of MCIS in it, and how you relate to your role?
Okay. Yeah, that was an interesting opportunity that we are riding on. Yeah, because with the launch of Future Skills Framework, we thought that as we are also now transforming as an organization, so that comes ready, and the management is open to be the really very early adopter. So what we did was, based on the Future Skills Framework, we want to make it relatable by all levels of employee. So we start small, we start simple, by adopting 5 power skills.
Okay.
Yep. In fact, we have a video being featured during the launch last year as well. So that was a little proud moment for MCIS.
Yeah.
Shots sendiri.
No, it's a video published and then everybody shot together.
Yeah. So come this year is really about integrating the power skills. How do we integrate that into our hiring, integrate that into our development? So of the 5 power skills, one of it is about change management.
Okay.
Yeah, which is very relevant, not just for MCIS, but for many organizations. So as we were brainstorming, so what kind of development that we need to put in place for staff here to embrace change management? So we are thinking, do we introduce another training? Formal learning, then get them go through, tell them about the importance of change. Many organizations have done that, and that is also something that actually a lot of people, all of us, we know. But it's about what is going to inspire people to take action based on what I know. So that's where we started thinking that, okay, is there another way that we can inspire people to embrace change besides having another classroom training? Yeah. So that's where I recall that you're launching a book, and then maybe, okay, last year we had orchestra. This year, what can we have?
Wow.
So
You're
that's
really
where,
someone very creative and able to connect all the dots.
Yeah, but somehow things just synchronize. That we started with that simple idea, and now that the 5 power skills are very cognitive driven. So how can we balance that we are still able to inspire people to embrace that the little non-cognitive way? So inspired by the book that you have written.
All right.
And give you a call and say, can we do something? How do we curate this and sell the idea? Of course, along the way, there are questions that we could address. We tweak how it can be done, so that it become another experience for people to embrace this.
I see.
Yeah.
Wow. What you just shared reminds me of the statement you made just now. The stars will align. Right? Because I like the way you do have a framework roadmap, but you still allocate certain percentage of it for some flexibilities, for some rooms, for some new ideas to come in. So now that I know, when you actually, maybe for example, when you had the music, the orchestra, the music appreciation, at that point of time, like you said, you didn't know maybe what's next. Maybe it will stop just there. but it kind of like just happened there and then after you came to my book launch. Likewise, to me, I was just having a book launch. I really didn't expect. Yeah, I got the call from you just a few weeks later that, hey, we're going to do this in MCIS. It's part of this non-cognitive learning. And then last year you've done this. And then this year did something that. So that's where we continue our discussion.
Yeah.
Wow.
It goes to prove again. Actually, resources are available right in front of us.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
It's just
yeah.
I open up my eyes and say, oh, okay. Why don't this one?
Yeah, you're putting change management right on the spot. Right. Okay. All right. So let us now maybe dive into these colors of change. Yeah. As you know, my book is a birth of my. It's actually my first book, and then the seed comes from the time when I had all this painting during the pandemic, and I personally experienced that process a lot, and I have benefited so much from it that I always have this intention in my mind that I want to spread it further. That's where I had my book launch. That's where I had my book published. And that's where I connect to people like you all. And so tell me, in MCIS, what's your planning like? So when you kind of like wanted this to be in place, so in specific, it is for your talent, and also you have gained your experience from last year, right? So now what else? Yeah. So how do you kind of curate the ideas and bring it alive?
I mean, on the planning side, of course, I tie this non-cognitive event with the power skills. So that is something that, because I mean, just like what you always talk about, is that big change starts with small steps. Yeah. So that was the part that I make business sense. Right?
Okay.
So to justify a non-conventional way of learning, there must be a proper justification. So it comes in just very nicely to tie to the power skills that we have here in change management.
I see.
So, and then it also goes total congruent into the overall development roadmap that people are taking a break. So I make it bite size. So instead of I'm sure we can do this as a whole day event, another classroom. But then we challenge ourselves to say, okay, how can we do this like probably over 2 hours? People are not away from work, because the season that we wanted to do this it was a peak season for many people. Yep. So how can we like do it bite size? People are willing to come and experience it, and then they go back and keep fighting. Yeah. So that was the thing. Nothing very magical that we did to make it happen.
I see.
Yeah.
Because this process of colors of change is divided into 3 phases. Phase 1, where I had a 2 hours talk plus experience for me to take them through the art process. And then later we had a 21 days WhatsApp group. For them to experience this process, like you say, putting big change, small steps into daily practices of painting using the same process. And then we ended the entire journey with a 1 hour virtual check-in. So again, I find it very interesting. Every time I ask you the same question, that is, hey, you are both the planner. Because we both kind of like plan the process, agree to it, and at the same time, you are also the one who participated in it. So share with me your perspectives from both sides.
Oh, okay. I didn't see myself as someone who is creative into music and things like that. It's just that I enjoy that, but I don't consider I can draw. No. When I posted those drawings in my social media pages, people are like, wow, you are such a good artist. I was laughing, oh, I'm not. So as I first experienced this, the mental block is about, ayo, I'm not good at drawing. How do I survive these 21 days, right? But then, so that was the first thing that come to my mind. But then I said, okay, with clear instruction on what to do, simple piece of paper, can lah, just try it. But then as I start putting on crayon on the paper and following whatever my heart or is telling me to draw, it was quite seamless, quite easy. Yeah, because you already told us that don't judge yourself by drawing, just go with the flow in drawing. So from the initial doubt, it become something that I look forward that it can be done within 5 minutes. So that 5 minutes is really the me time. That, wow, so nice. I do it and I do it for myself. It's my me time.
Nice.
And also, as I look back on all these pieces of drawing, I can see that there are days that when I don't feel that productive, when I'm not at the right place, it's kind of reflected in the drawing. On days that I am aligned, I'm very grounded, I have little mental breakthrough, it is also reflected there. Yeah.
We know the stories behind all these colors, right?
Yeah,
Without using words to tell, we don't even need to justify with anybody.
Exactly.
But we know what transformation has done to us inside.
Exactly. So with the people who are into the program, I do see people who participated in the 21 days diligently. Yep.
Yeah.
And they find it very useful, that really, just like me, the me time. Yep. So on the larger scale, I do have one of them telling me that despite us in this peak season that we have so many conflicting schedules, but looking at the drawings that people are posting in the group, it gave us a sense of, hey, we are in the same community. I'm not dealing with these challenges myself. All of us are in it together. So that kind of bond builder indirectly, it was something very nice to experience. Yeah.
In fact, for me too, when I see those artworks they submitted or uploaded in the WhatsApp group chat, and they are sharing, it truly touched my heart, really.
Yeah.
And any experiences or things that you hear from the people here with this approach that you are taking and with this whole process?
I see. I do have people who see this as an art therapy.
Okay.
Yeah, which is not unusual because I'm also new into this exercise. So they thought that, okay, this is art therapy, it's not for all, and it's perfectly okay to say that this is not for me. But the important thing is that when they have gone through the talk and they know the pointers in embracing change, that itself is an achievement. Yep. And there are some who, through this experience, because people who gone through the program, the 2 hours talk, consists of people who are already in the existing talent pool and also a new intake.
I see.
So that 21 days experience where we are in the same WhatsApp group, that in a way was a very good bonding platform. We probably don't see each other every day, but from those drawings, you get to know someone else better in a very different light. Yep. Like we do have people from compliance. The typical image about compliance is about must do this, must do that. But then when you see how they're drawing, like they participated, say, hey, this is just another fellow colleagues that we have, and they have their creative side. So that break the mental barrier. That also help to foster collaboration among different people in a group.
I thought so.
And another, I do have someone very young who said, hey, this experience actually, because you know that life insurance or insurance company, we do have people who are very technical. We have experts who specialize in actuarial, doing pricing. So these are the people who have very broad cognitive capacity. So using a lot of rational thinking. So this experience reminded them that, hey, I've been focusing too much on thinking, the intellectual part of it. I've forgotten about my heart. So it's connecting about that, and they find it liberating. I need to take care of both.
Wow.
So that I thought, and this is from a young man. So I said, wow.
Wow, very nice way of you putting it. But coming back to what you said just now, because you are linking this to the Bank Negara, one of the power skills, change management.
Yeah.
So after being through this journey, how do you relate this experience of yours to helping MCIS in this change management bit?
It helps in a very subtle way. Because for those who find that art is not for me, I'm not good at that. But the fact that we are able to complete that may not be the 21-day cycle, but some did it 5 days, some did it 10 days. They come to realization that actually change is not that hard. It just start with one small step, one small thing. It's not that difficult. I just need to start, and I start small, and it's not that overwhelming. Yeah. So it's so, I mean, in the world of AI, aunties like us will think, oh my God, AI, I don't know how to use it, I don't know how to cope, will I stay obsolete soon? But then with this exercise, I do have few who come to realization that actually it's not that difficult. I just need to explore, I just need to ask, and I can just do it. It is about how both can coexist.
I really, really like the way you put it and how you link it to change management. It's after all not that difficult. So sometimes I used to say, hey, change can be very difficult, but on the other hand, it can be very, very easy. Like you said, it's just taking the first step to explore instead of thinking here, shall I not, or so big. But the moment when you put small little things into practice, and it makes the change itself not so scary, not so big, not so huge, not so whatsoever negative impression they have on it. And like you say, it could be something subtle. So that's the thing about non-cognitive learning and something so soft, right? It can be so subtle that you think you can have it, you don't, right? If you don't do it, it's okay. But if you don't, but without realizing that subtle things like that can be very transformative.
Exactly.
What if it is just the cognitive part? Right?
Exactly. In fact, again, like what you said, synchronization, all stars align. I was recently introduced to read a book on change management.
All right.
What's the name? Switched.
Okay.
Yep. So as I was flipping through the book, and then I realized that, hey, this is really exactly what we are doing. Of course, we didn't create that, we didn't design for that, but then really the essence of it is about how to change when change is hard. Like, as we go through this process, it's about taking care of the rational mind, the cognitive portion. It is very important, must take care of it. But at the same time, we also need to handle the emotional side of it, the feeling, the heart. So two has to come together. Of course, the third component is about shape the path, clear the way for people to want to do it.
Yes.
And really, the emotional part, I think in the book, there's a term, the elephant side of it, the heart. It is about break down those big changes into smaller pieces. So when it is small, then it's doable. People can relate.
Yes.
So doing the art exercise is really one of the ways for us to say that, start small, doable. And I'm sure there are many other ways for us to have that we start small. Yeah.
The message behind the process is important. Not just the process itself. There are many tools out there. This is one of it.
Yeah.
Nice.
And it's so powerful that when we are able to do that, then we realize that actually, for me to change as individual, I don't need to be someone very powerful. I don't need to be I don't need to have a lot of resources. I must have a lot of manpower, then only I can change. It can be done. As long as we embrace that.
I like the way you summarize it in the space of change, irregardless how much you have, where you are, how powerful you are. It's not about the power or resource that we're talking about. Everybody do have that ability to change if you start small. All right. So, I think thank you very much. All right. So, Ms. Cheok, hearing from you, your experience in successfully, I must say, introduce these two pieces, music and art, into the non-cognitive learning, into the entire roadmap of your talent development, would like to tap on this experience that you have been through. If there is any do's and don'ts for the HR practitioners out there, talent developers out there, who want to implement something similar, like what you did, any practical tips you would like to share?
Oh, okay. What's the do? I guess it's important to have a partner in crime who support this idea. Like
where to find?
For the talent manager, it's really about having that common alignment with your chief people officer or the CHRO. So in my case is that when there is this alignment between the intent or the purpose of doing this, and is also in alignment with what the HR leader is believes, also with the leader of the company. So that, I believe, is very important. Otherwise, it may be perceived as you learning, you short sendiri. So I guess that's important. To have that partner in crime.
I see. Nice. Because I think, likewise, I think I have been in this industry for close to 30 years. We are in the industry where there's actually no boundary, right? Talking about learning. Every moment is also learning. How you want to put it into a really, really structure is also learning. So, where do you take it and all this, right? Any precondition for companies to have if they were to launch this kind of learning?
Not too sure about that, but I guess it all depends on the organization's readiness.
In what way they can show their readiness?
Because for bigger setup, when they are 100% all into talent development, I don't think this is something really new that people are doing, that many organizations may have done it. Just at a smaller scale like us, when we are doing it ourselves, that means all these are DIY.
You're right. I like that DIY.
We figure out how do we structure the orchestra, how do we prepare people, and also do the debrief. So probably not all organizations may be ready to embark this. So therefore, if there is something to take note, is really about if there is something that you as a talent developer who's passionate, you believe, or you just keen to try it out.
All right. It's a mindset like what I'm hearing from you throughout the session. It's about you that is making this difference here, not anything else.
So it's that the don't is that probably maybe don't give up too early. Maybe the timing is not now. So we probably need to have the wisdom to know that probably the organization may not be ready into this, and revisit that later on. Or do that in another scale. Don't have to be so die must have music, art. It can also be in many forms.
Wow. You're kind of like just open up a lot of possibilities in this space here. Well, let's take that space talking about freedom, possibilities. If you were given the chance to turn back the clock and start all the things all over again, and you do have the freedom of nothing, you have all the resources you have, how would you do it, Ms. Cheok?
You mean in the area of non-cognitive learning?
In the area of non-cognitive learning and how you want to put non-cognitive learning into your talent development roadmap. Yeah, if you really have the freedom of choice.
I got to think.
Yeah, too much of freedom already, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess because for now, the experiment that we did was for a group where they're going through accelerated development.
All right.
I probably would think that probably there are also opportunities that we also can embed this to the employee in general.
Expand the scope, not just the
Yeah.
talent, yeah?
Correct. So that people get to also experience it in different way, different format. If there's a constraint that probably if the dynamic or the organization is not really into like having it as a standalone initiative, it's about how do we also embed that into those cognitive learning, embed a little bit of the non-cognitive so that people get to experience a little bit of that in the whole experience. Yeah. So it's about finding those opportunity or areas that we are able to embed that so that we open up the possibility that employees are able to do that in their own capacity instead of like waiting for HR to organize that.
Okay.
So that they know how to do it themselves.
Yeah.
It's about navigating between the cognitive and also the non-cognitive, because when we address the non-cognitive portion, that in a way, I think based on what you have shared earlier on, is about expanding the flexibility for us to have bigger capacity to embrace the cognitive ability.
Yeah. So true, because even for us as a training provider too, at times, really knowing this part of non-cognitive, I really wish I could bring more into my classrooms, into any training programs or maybe any interventions. But again, I also need to always justify the ROI part of it.
Yes.
So how I wish, not from financial viewpoint, but really from the humanity, from learning viewpoints, there are a lot of benefits from this non-cognitive creative learning, and like you say, there are opportunities everywhere. But coming back to, because when we keep talking about how we wish, as we expand the scope, how we wish, they take opportunity, they take ownership of learning, what about talent? From your perspective, what do talents really crave for? Right? Because a lot of time, when they're selected to be a talent, roadmap is there, so I participate with the community that we are also called the talents. But what do they really crave for from this talent?
I have yet to ask every one of them.
All right.
But based on the interaction I had with some of them, the answers may not be something that people are expecting.
Okay,
I do have.
Please tell the truth and nothing but the truth.
I do have, like, probably in a smaller pool, I do have probably one or two of them who craves for no development. Leave me alone. I just want to do my job.
Okay, that's really honest feedback. I think it's good for us to acknowledge and know, right? There are people like that.
Yes.
Yeah, true. And okay, I may sound a bit negative. There are people who share that view, and we should acknowledge that. Yeah.
Yep.
Any other feedback that you hear?
So you're gonna have probably one or two of them. If you don't have that, then that's a good news, because development is not something in their radar. And
True.
of course, as the owner of the talent, we also will see this as a potential warning sign, because the future generation are not going to really be very inclined to follow a leader who is not into development. But then in terms of implementation, I will know that I will not be following through that closely for some who are craving for no development. Yeah. So because some probably already reached the plateau in their own professional growth,
True.
and they choose to be there. So that is on one. But most of the people who are in the high potential development pool, it is quite consistent that what they are craving for is really about having those feedback and comments or insights about, so how have I improved? How have I transformed? How have I moved from this development area 18 months ago versus now? And it's very, in theory, the supervisor of the talent would have this kind of conversation with them. But again, in practice, probably not all line managers are skilled in having this kind of conversation. Yeah. So therefore, I do come across many, including myself. I really wanted to have that kind of conversation so that I can see that, okay, 12 months ago or 18 months ago when I was identified as a talent, where was I into these few areas that probably in terms of my leadership skill, number one. And now that I've gone through the development roadmap, so where am I now? Both the hard truth plus the progress. Yeah.
Feedback is neutral.
Exactly. So that is quite, it doesn't happen as frequent as we want it to be. Yeah.
What are the challenges they face in putting this in place to have that conversation?
The one that everyone knows is about making sure that our people manager is equipped with the skills to do this kind of conversation. Yeah. So that's one end that many are doing it. On the other side, being the talent is also about, if I'm the talent, it's also about my openness to want that feedback. Because it's also not surprising, we all know that some of the stars in a talent pool may go too big-headed about, I have arrived, so there's nothing that you can tell me. So the willingness of the person to want to seek those feedback is another factor.
Yeah.
And also, I also come across that the person who is handling talent, it is so important to have that one-to-one check-in to really find out how is it the progress. When I was in a very big organization that we have 15,000 staff force and you have 800 people in a talent pool, it's just too difficult to have one-to-one conversation. But along the way, when I am attached with a small organization, I do make time to do that. I should do better than that, but at least there are room for me to have that kind of conversation, and that make a lot of difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like what you share, right? I think as we come from a talent developer's point of view, wanting to have a very nice, structured, impressive, impactful roadmap for them, ultimately it is just this just very personalized conversation, feedback we need to have in order for each and every of the talent to benefit of it. Ultimately, to me, also the same. It's not just the talent pool we are looking at. It's individually how each talent takes from this development plan that we have from them. Even like what you said just now, it could be a very truthful feedback which may work against you or what you expect. But that itself is learning too.
Exactly. And imagine if we are having more of this kind of conversation with those targeted in the talent pool, and with that, when they have experienced once on how it's done, they also would be inspired to do something similar with their own team members.
Yeah.
So eventually, you're going to have many talent developers in the organization, besides HR driving it so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
True.
So that is really about the long-term aim
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
many of the
Yeah.
people who are doing talent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That talent development becomes not the function or a role that on people like you, your shoulder, but everybody plays a role in it. The talent itself, people I'm surrounded with, my superior, my peers. So that would be really, really ideal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also with this, it's very much also where we are now at this juncture of our life where AI is coming into place, right? So the talents now are exposed to a lot of information, something really, really cognitive again, yeah, from technology. So, do you foresee in the future, because of the impact what non-cognitive learning can bring to this development plan of theirs, and how does AI play a role, and how does AI and maybe the non-cognitive learning, the cognitive, non-cognitive part of it kind of blend together in our workplace?
I'm not an expert in AI,
Mm-hmm.
but I guess from the point of view as someone who is handling development,
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's really about preparing ourselves, preparing our employees to have that flexibility to embrace what is coming our way. AI is one of it, and I don't know what else is coming our way. So it's about, as long as the ability or the flexibility to embrace all the upcoming trends that's coming our way, whether it's helping us to be more productive or is threatening us in taking away our job. The foundation is about, when I have that strong foundation or the strong learning agility, that's where I'm able to really stay a little more open with whatever that's coming my way. That, I guess, is really the foundation instead of the tool itself. Yeah.
And that's what linked to the change management we talked about just now, right?
Yep.
Yeah, the change can be so huge, so big, so scary. As now every meeting I go to, almost this is something that we will hear, AI, and how is it impacting the workplace. Yeah, to me personally, why I had that question is also because, because to me, AI is about information, it's about how fast, how efficient we do things. It's very much here the hands and head and all this. But again, it is this part where the creative learning, the non-cognitive learning comes into place. Yeah. So what do you foresee in future? Do you see that these non-cognitive learning, this very soft creative learning, art, music, will take more space in this talent development arena?
Personally, actually, I have no clue. I'm only clear that it is going to complement the cognitive learning portion. It's just like how the alternative medicine is complementing the Western medicine. So it's like, it's not about conflicting that, if I have to choose one to spend more time in one area instead of the other. It is about recognizing that how can I have another way, and this is probably the alternative way to complement what I'm already doing well, and to make that impact even more sustainable. Yeah.
I really like this metaphor that you have. Complementary medicine and the mainstream.
Yeah.
And ultimately, it's not about the big impact, but it's about sustainable. You use that word sustainable. Yeah.
And it's perfectly okay for some who don't see value here. But for those who are keen to explore, then that's where that we're able to bring bigger impact. That make it as a complement, as another alternative to make your existing effort even more sustainable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Really, really nice. Really, really nice. So if there is we're almost coming to the end of the session. So if there is anything or any feeling that you want to leave behind for the listeners today, what would that be?
Okay, I don't know. What would be the thing? I think as I have experienced or implemented these two different ways, I thought a very I don't know. I relate to food. So one of my favorite food is fish head noodle.
Okay.
So I was trying to relate because as I was preparing for this podcast, my first time doing it. So I was trying to how do I describe that? So having a bowl of fish head noodle, the non-cognitive learning portion is just like a little bit of wine that you add into the fish head noodle.
All right.
With that, it elevated the taste to another level.
Wow.
I don't know.
You are very good at metaphor. Just now complementary alternative medicine, and now a taste, a flavor of wine into the fish head noodle.
So that is the non-halal version. And the halal version, because I mean, for all of us, when we organize training, we definitely prepare food for our participants, right? So I remember one of the senior leaders here, when she was having breakfast, where we prepared fried noodle. So she was saying that, hey, Cheok, you cannot be serving fried bee hoon without the cut chili padi. So that cut chili padi is really the so-called non-cognitive learning.
Right.
You don't have chili padi, you can still go with a bee hoon, but when you have it, it brings it to another level.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know.
Nice. So on that note, I will end the session today, and thank you so much. I personally have benefited so much from it, especially on that part the last part when you bring out the metaphor of the complementary medicine. Yeah, really nicely said. And also the wine, I don't know, people relate to story, right? Now I remember the wine, the flavor, and also and most importantly, what personally I have taken away from this podcast is your courage. Your courage and your agility, how agile you are in testing it out. And you use the word experiment just now. I really, really like it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And I must say that I'm also blessed to be in a team, in an organization who is really open to explore this. Without that, that courage or passion may not come to fruition. Yeah.
Wow.
So.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.